check my check 1 2 1 2 1. Check my check 1 2. I think we are on. What's the deal, my people? You know what it is, Don Tony Teflon. That does not sound excited. Or I am excited. And that did not sound. So we're gonna do that all over everything. But I am not here alone. This is the first ever Dexter live stream. We're gonna give some predictions on the upcoming episode and recap episode 4. Do all that good stuff. As always, rocking with me for the first time in a long time. This is, as you can see, the logo is there. The Lady and Don podcast, and rocking with me as always is Elamar. How are you?
I am good every time. It's been such a long time since we've done this. I'm great. How are you?
I am great. I am great. Great to see everybody here in the chat joining us and stuff. Don't know how many Dexter fans we got out there, but we're going to get it popping. We're going to do it right now. What's the deal, my people? You know what it's Don Tony Teflon back at you with another one, and you are now watching and listening to the sexiest podcast in the world, the Lady and Don podcast. As always, as I just said, let me say it again. Elamar, I have not seen you in such a long time. It
It's
is
been
so
a
good to see
while.
you.
It's so nice to see you too, Tony. It's nice to be here. Nice to be back. It's so relaxing every
It
time.
is. And we're talking here we're talking here about Dexter. You know what I mean? We got some people in here. Let's go say what up to the people we have rocking with VF555. What up? What up? What up? We got Miss Duncan the Tall in the building rocking with, oh my God, Lady Emma. That's where
She's just so sweet every time. Every time. So nice to see her.
Mandrell is supporting. This is always in the building, rocking with us right now and everything. What up to everybody out here, man? And it's Joseph Marines is in the building, rocking with us. Thank you for rocking with us. We truly appreciate it. So this is our first time doing something for Dexter and stuff like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Oh, we got a new fan, new subscriber. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate that, man. Without a shadow of a doubt. You know what I mean? We're gonna get into this
Mm-hmm.
without a shadow. So before we do, let's go through a little bit of the history of Dexter. That you know what I mean. That Elmar, when did you watch? Obviously, you watched this show from the beginning.
Yeah.
I know this is your type of show.
Yes, it is. Lots of blood and but like he's a good killer, right? I mean, he's a serial killer, but he's a good one. Oh, yeah, I binged it. I binged it years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
no doubt
yeah.
about it. I don't know if he's a good. He's a killer, right? I guess
He's a
you kill for
killer.
your own reasons and stuff. You want to say it's good. I'm not gonna doubt you. And if y'all wonder what Elamar is a clinical psychiatrist. So she
Not a clinical, but
all right.
with background in it. And
All right,
yeah,
background. So she can,
yeah.
say certain things that I'm not going to be able to say. If y'all asking everything else, and what up? What up? We got 2 people in here rocking from Florida in the building with us, man, in the good weather.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, so
Lots of people. Yeah.
I will say that the final season of Dexter was terrible. Let's get this right out of
Mm.
the way. It was a terrible ending. And I think that the fact that they decided to come back says that, they realized that it was a terrible ending
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to do right by the fans. So they made this, they came back and they did this. It says limited series, but the actor who plays Dexter, he also said, and the writer who came up, they said, listen, if it jumps off and people like it that much,
Mm-hmm.
they are not against doing multiple seasons on it and stuff like that. So far from what you've seen, do you think that it deserves like multiple seasons, or
Um,
you think that it should end right after this?
I'm biased. I gotta go into it with like a fangirl kind of attitude. I missed Dexter. They ended it awfully. I wanted a redemption, I guess, at some point. It's been a long time, and I'm excited so far. And when you said that it's a limited series, and I'm thinking, serial killer, right? I mean, who knows? Like when they first kill, if they're gonna do it again, they don't know. Maybe they want to. Like this is the first one. Maybe if it goes well, we're gonna have more of these. So I'm hoping not just for a serial killer, but a serial. If it's good, if it's not, I don't want it to be stretched just to stretch it because that's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But if they have good material and they do it well, why not? I just don't want to see it butchered
All right.
in
How
a
do you
bad way.
feel? How do you feel about the location? They went from Miami to based there in New York fictional town in New York. We're in
Mhm.
upstate New York, and it's very extremely cold in upstate New York.
Yeah.
So, how do you like that switch from going from
You know,
Miami to
it's
upstate New York?
it's if if I were him, that's a great place to pick if you want to curb your addiction to killing, because you're in a small town, right? It's harder to get away with stuff, and then if even during tourist season, if tourists start disappearing, that's gonna be more. That he knew what he was doing to get away from that stuff, no temptations, but obviously he gave in. So I wonder if that's gonna come into play too. I mean, if I were him, I would not pick that just because, I would like, what I'm doing. But as far as the location, it's more intriguing now because how is he gonna get away with it?
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I think they went for the total opposite. They went as far,
Mm,
and not as far, but just about they went all the way up the East Coast. Everyone knows that if you're from New York, you basically like me. You know what I mean? You retire in
mhm,
Florida. Mostly Florida is all New Yorkers who run that show out there. You know what I mean? So that's what they went with, and they didn't go with New York City. They went, because Miami, he was in Miami, there's a city out there. Said, "Oh, we're gonna take him out of the
mhm,
city. We're gonna put him in the country. We're
mhm,
gonna put him in a small town." And I think that's what they say. They're trying to say, listen, he got away with everything in the big city, and when it
mhm.
all comes down to it, because I think he has to get caught, and I think that's one of the things that wasn't satisfying about the ending was the fact that he got away with it. And I think so. He has to get caught when this is all said and done. So I think
Mhm.
we're gonna be he avoided all the big city cops, but it's going to be a small little town
Yeah.
cop in the end that bring him down. I think that's what they're trying to set up with this whole situation.
You mentioned that, that makes so much sense too. I mean, his sister found out, right?
Hmm.
She found out she was a cop, and now we have a girlfriend who looks kind of like his sister. In a way, everything is so similar, and now who knows? Maybe she's gonna be the one who catches him. And uh, Dexter's sister didn't give him, to authorities or to herself to be reported, and who knows what this cop will do?
Yeah,
Maybe
Mandrell,
she'll, yeah.
he loved the fact that he got away with it. I think it's just not
Mm.
realistic. You know what I mean? From what they showed in the show, that
Mhm.
this guy would basically get away with it. Then that's the problem. I think a lot of people have with him getting away with it. It just wasn't set up for him to get away with it. You know what I mean? Just he was. I ain't gonna say
Yeah.
he's not smart, but he's not that smart that he should have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people, it's just not. It wasn't a good ending. There's only certain movies that were able to pull that off. One that comes to mind was Mr. Brooks. I don't want to give away the ending, but I think I made but only a certain amount of movies can actually do that and make it feel
Mhm.
satisfying. It didn't feel satisfying to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. I mean, I was rooting for him, but then there's that satisfaction too. If he would get caught, there's this other part of us, like people, doing a lot of people do things that are kind of, not great, and
Mhm.
they get away with it. And there's that fear. What if I get caught? And here they can live it, out like, oh wow, he got caught to, to experience that through him.
No doubt about it. All right, we're gonna go through now. Last episode, episode 4.
Hmm.
I thought was one of the better episodes of the season. I think all the episodes are good, but I really did like the episode 4. I think they did a really good job with that. Setting up, the whole son, the hero
Hmm.
situation, and him preventing the mass school shooting that he truly wasn't preventing, and everything else. That he's set up to be like that. Something that the Don predicted in my prediction video. So if you haven't checked out my prediction video, go check those out, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about and all that situation. But yeah, I like the way they did it. How did you feel about episode 4?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. A lot of things happened, and I think that's one of the things I liked about Dexter. Again, it's been a while. I have not rewatched it. I just started rewatching the older seasons.
Mhm.
There are a lot of them, but I was always surprised by, if I remember correctly, by they just never, like, they were so very much straightforward. Like every time there was something happening, it actually happened. Meaning they didn't kind of like beat around the bush or like, oh, and they lead somewhere else. They went right to it. So this episode was no different. And I guess the series, this current series is not different in that way. And that's kind of one of the things I like about it. It's not like a soap opera kind of thing where like, it takes forever for something to happen. It happens. It's whatever they make you think is going to happen. It's not a slow burner at all. At least for
Mhm.
me, it's not.
I agree. We're gonna get right into. So I have clips and everything else of the episode coming up. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about what we see here and what we think is going on. And we got a little new feature here from StreamYard. I can pause this thing anytime and stuff like that. So that's very nice that StreamYard did that. I really appreciate that,
Nice.
StreamYard. You know what I mean? All these little things going on. So we're going to get right into it and talk about this upcoming episode, what we think is going to happen. We want your predictions in it too, and everything else. So we could start right off the bat and everything else. So we did find out in this episode that in this trailer, real quick, that without a shadow of a doubt here, we seen that Harrison has the razor blade. We found out in the episode that Harrison has the razor blade, and it's the same razor blade that Trinity Killer used to kill his mother. All right, now
Hmm.
this is what people are saying. So, how is it that he is able to remember? Is it possible that a child of that age, when they showed him that was sitting in blood, could remember a traumatic detail like his mother being killed that he was sitting? Is that possible that that could happen?
Well, from personal experience, and well, not like Dexter or not like Harrison, but I there are memories. Infants can have memories. It's very rare, but they do have memories if it's something traumatic to them. For me, actually, I do remember. I do have a memory. It wasn't traumatic like that, but apparently must have been something. I remember to this day. I was on, and I confirmed it later. I was under one. My mother left me at the babysitter's right across the where we lived, and I remember to
Mhm,
this day the exact everything and how awful, how it was just terrible. For whatever reason, I hated
mhm,
that. I have a memory, I have a vivid memory of that. And I know for a fact that I was recalling exactly how stuff was in that house. And I should not remember that. She never mentioned it to me. And the neighbor moved out and took the stuff. So I never had a chance to look at it later. And I described it perfectly to them. So if I remembered something as simple as being left alone at the
mhm.
babysitters, why not, Harrison being covered in blood?
All right, let me before we go on, let me address my man Jerome Williams in the building, Rockwood. He's saying that's not Harrison. So I have seen this theory going around that this is not Harrison. All right,
Mm.
and I'm for one. I need to know who do you think it is if it's not Harrison. I'd like to know. And I don't see it not being Harrison. I mean, when the evidence and everything else that we see, I believe it's one of the other sons. Who's the other sons of who, sir? Is what I'm saying. What other
Mm.
son are we talking about here? Because when I look at the situation, right,
Mhm.
we can see that obviously he was listening to the podcast and he was affected by the podcast. If that wasn't a Harrison, why would that podcast of his mother affect him like that? If
Mm.
that wasn't Harrison, why would he have that razor blade with him that was used to kill his mother? Same exact one. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that would not be Harrison and stuff like that. Are you saying she had two other boys? It's not. They would be way or older if that was the case. Because when we looked at the situation and everything,
Yeah.
and you looked at how old Trinity's son was, Trinity's son was old, was around the same age as of those boys when they got bigger and stuff. So it's. I don't think that it would be anything. It's definitely to me Harrison. What do you think? Do you think that it's Harrison? Now listen, I respect
Yeah, I think
anyone's
it is.
theory.
Yeah.
But do you think that that's Harrison when it's
And
all
we're
said?
talking about if Harrison is Harrison, right? If
Yes,
this is actually
it's
Harrison.
Harrison. Is that Harrison? Yeah.
I think it is him. I mean, children do change, but I you could how can you not recognize your kid? I mean, the features change, but even what was he under one or however old he was, and now he's well over. No, how I forgot how old he was, but no, Dexter would have recognized if this was somebody else.
If it was Rita's other kid, he'd be really big by now.
Yeah,
He's
and
not
there
going to
would
be that
yeah.
small. You know what I mean? He's going to be rich.
Mm-hmm.
He was bigger than back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And everything else. You know what I'm saying? So it just would to me it just doesn't fly. I understand. I think it
yeah.
was good, but I think it really that put the capper in it. The fact that he reacted to it like that. I just don't think that there's. I don't think that. I mean, if people want to believe it, I understand. I don't think that theory holds water to me. I just don't see him being that Harry. It doesn't. When I look at certain things, right, it doesn't help the plot. If that's not
Mm-hmm.
Harrison, how
Then what's
does
the
that
point?
move the
Yep.
plot? If it gets revealed, oh, this wasn't Harrison the whole time. What does that mean? This is the whole
Yeah.
thing. The last episode is called Sins of the Father, right? That's the last episode. That's what the
Mm.
title is. Then Sins of the Father. So who is the sin and who is the father committing sin? I think that's Dexter. You know what I mean? And the sin is it's got to be his son. It doesn't have the same gravitas if it's not Harrison. So I just don't think it moves the needle. And for the showrunners, it has to move the needle. So I think this has to be Harrison. That's why it's called New Blood because this is his
Mm.
son. You know what I mean? And you see him making statements that his sister made. You know what I mean? Saying the same thing that Dexter's sister say. So I cannot not get into that not being Harrison and everything else like that. I don't
Yeah,
believe.
and somebody wrote here that there are books on it, and I heard about that. I didn't read them, and definitely I do stay away from that. Not just for spoilers, because I don't like spoilers for stuff like that. But sometimes they do change stuff from the book, so I have not read the books, and I'm actually not planning on right now.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not read the books of
yeah.
these. Right, books I've read. I can't read these. But I can't
I,
go into that right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. I had a hard time with other shows that had books. I just read too much before I joined the community. I have well, I need a rest from books. I read enough in my life already, for
All
now
right,
at least.
so we see this clip of Dexter,
Hmm.
with the blade. That's the one that Trinity used, to kill his victims, but also used it to kill Rita. I think that I hit the right button for it to go. Uh, oh no, it's down here. My bad. Here we go. All right, yes, it was moving. My bad. All right, so they're prominently showing this. And again, here is an advertisement for my video that I put out, Harrison's final twist reveal. So if you want to know what I believe is going on with Harrison, you can go check that video out. It's on my channel right now, giving you details. But I'll talk a little bit about this right now, but I won't give everything away. But I'll definitely talk about this. I'll say thank you for all the support that I've been getting on a lot of these Dexter videos. I truly do appreciate that. All right, so I think it's very significant that he's using the exact method that his mother was killed. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I think there's something fishy going on here with Harrison and his stepmother. Like I believe that he killed his stepmother. I don't think his stepmother died of cancer. I don't believe that story that he's putting out there, and I don't believe that he just discovered him on Instagram. I think that there's an interesting thing there that when you deal with and we'll get to a picture. She's going to show up the podcaster,
Hmm.
right? When you deal with her, and I love the podcaster because she played in Lovecraft Country. She was Ji Hung
Mm.
and Ji Young in Lovecraft Country, and I love her in that show, and I love seeing her again. And I think it's interesting that she said that she had 1 million of Instagram followers, specifically Instagram followers, and then Harrison says, "I found you, Dexter, on Instagram." I think
Hmm.
that it's a good possibility that she's the one who sent him up there. How do
Hmm.
you feel about that, Eleanor?
Well, definitely something that's interesting. What you're mentioning right now about that part, that there's more to him than just, oh, I'm just stopping by because, what was he doing for those 3 years, right? Since allegedly his stepmom died. Well, so for 3 years he's been doing what, right? And all of a sudden he just pops in over here, like that. But also, interesting thing, if you can, I don't know if you, Tony, or somebody in the chat can remind me, wasn't his stepmom also on the, um w- what was she, wasn't she a killer as well? Didn't he leave her with, I think that's my sorry, that's my cat here joining me. But wasn't she also kind of like Dexter?
Yeah, she was a little crazy too, and
Mm-hmm.
she was crazy and she had money and everything else and all that, but she definitely was not too far off of Dexter,
Mm-hmm.
without a shadow of a doubt. So you know, I I just think that it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence. Someone said she's at 800,000 subscribers. That's close to a million. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying
Yeah.
if she's saying she has 800,000 subscribers on Instagram, and they could have picked Twitter, they could have picked you know what I mean? They could have picked anything else. But they had to pick Instagram.
Instagram.
And then you have Harrison saying that he found him on
Mm-hmm.
this picture of Instagram.
Yep.
I think that that's too much of a coincidence. I think that she could have, because I just don't see. And there's a picture of Dexter's woman. I just don't see him. I just don't see Dexter, this podcaster,
Mm-hmm.
right, who does podcasts on murders. Right, that's
Mm-hmm.
basically what it's about. Coming up to this small town for this little ass case.
Yep.
That was it. This is a tiny case. Like, you know what I mean? That's the type of case, this guy dies in the woods
Right.
with some elk, some deer. That's some
Yeah.
case that would happen in some small town.
Mm-hmm.
That would not get national coverage.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know about
And
that
how did
if
she
you were
find
out
out,
of
right?
state. Yeah,
So
you
quickly.
wouldn't know about that if you were out of state. I don't
Yeah.
think that's big enough to draw somebody all the way there. You know what I mean? This is not
Mm-hmm.
a Gabby type case. You know what I mean? That's it. That Gabby, God rest her soul and everything else from the New Yorker out there. But that garnered national attention. That's why everyone knew about it. You know, there's millions of girls who go missing every day you never
Mm-hmm.
hear about that don't garner that same attention. So I don't know how she, as this prominent podcaster, would have found this little case and decided, hey, let me travel to this cold ass place
Mm-hmm.
to investigate this little ass case. So for my
Yeah.
big podcast that none of my fans are ever going to hear about. If you
Yeah.
looked at when they showed the podcast that she had on there, she had all the big cases on it.
Mm-hmm.
David Berkowitz. She had all the big guys on there that everyone knows about.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have no tiny little small town stuff. So I
Yep.
think that you know what I mean? I think that it's suspect that she's there for that case. I think she's there for the Dexter case.
Yeah. And here they're making sense too. Our friends here in the chat. So this was what I was remembering. Hannah, that was his stepmom, and yes, she was a killer. She was a poisoner. She would poison people. So yeah, I'm thinking, nice for Harrison, right? Coming from genetic pool of Dexter, with predisposition towards stuff like that. He lived through the blood and was raised by Hannah, who also murdered people. So awesome upbringing. So no
Yeah,
wonder he's
no
cold. He
doubt.
can be cold and prone to doing that. I definitely see there's more to him. Obviously, we can see that too by the way he switches back and forth. It's completely, in a way, it looks like unaffected by what happens.
Without that, Cedro, see, from Oceanside, New York, from Queens, New York. Oceanside in the building, rocking with us. What up, what up, what up? We got love for you and everything. Jackie C's in the building, rocking with us, saying, Hannah turned that boy into kill. I don't know if
Mm,
she turned him into a kill. I think he's predisposed. I
yeah.
think that's what they're trying to say in the show with being born in blood. Like Dexter was born in blood.
Hmm.
He was set in his mother's blood when his mother was butchered to death, like she was in a Scarface movie. right?
Yeah.
I think that's what they were going for because Scarface was based out of Miami, and that's what they were going for with him when they did that
Yeah.
scene. So I think that's what it was, and I think he's saying that anyone who comes from a situation like that is going to be a serial killer for the show, and I think that's what it is, and I think that's what they're trying to point to with him when they're saying everything else
Mhm.
and stuff, you know.
And you can't ask for any more. I mean, you born with genes towards that traumatic experience as a kid or infant, and then raised by a woman who's also a killer. Well, then you cannot ask for more. Like this is a perfect breeding ground for cold-blooded murderer if he turns out to be that actually.
He is. He has to be. I mean, it's called
Right?
new blood. What's the new blood?
Yeah.
The new blood is him, the new killer. He's
Yeah.
the new blood. I mean, that's what it has to be. You know what I mean? Uh, I still like your theory about the flashbacks of seeing Trinity actually kill Rita. I think that they would have to do that. I mean, Trinity is going to be in it. I mean, we know he's in it. He's in it for 2 episodes. And I don't know why I keep freezing up. I never freeze up, and
Hmm.
it's weird that I am. But he's in it for 2 episodes, and so what are they going to bring him back for? You know what I mean? It
Hmm.
all depends what he comes back for. So I would think they would have to do something like that. You know, and I don't think he's going to be in for the whole 2 episodes. So I would like to see him being now. I say in my videos the dark passenger, and I refer to that as the person that Dexter is talking to. I know that that's not what Dexter means when he says dark passenger. He's saying his dark side of him.
Hmm.
But to me, I just like the way that sounds. All right, and that's why I say it. I don't want to say force ghost. I could say force ghost if that's what you want to say. All right, subconscious if you want to hear me say it. But I just like the way it sounds, dark
Yeah.
passenger. So that's what I mean when I say that. So I would like Trinity to be his dark passenger
Hmm.
Harrison that's talking to Harrison. I would love to see that situation. But that would have to happen. He would have to show up in the last couple of episodes then, Trinity. If he showed up in episode 9 and 10, then I think that's a possibility for that to happen. But if it's going to be earlier, then it's most likely he's going to show up. It's going to be a flashback when it's all said and done. What up to OTDA in the building, rocking with us right now? We got all the good people here, and some new people in here, and
Yep.
some new Dexter fans. Thank you all for rocking with us, man. We truly appreciate this, man, and everything else for staying with us and everything else. And since Elamar is back, rocking with me, you are back. I haven't
I
seen you in a
am
long
back.
time.
It's been like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to be here. And this is a perfect series. I love this. Not that others were, anything different, but this is a different kind of good,
In
bloody,
honor
and
of
yeah.
Elamar being here, we're going to give away a Dexter New Blood T-shirt before this stream is over to one of you
Uh,
guests in the chat tonight.
that's nice. That's so
Yeah,
nice.
that's what we're going to do for you. All right, so let's go. Since we have that picture up, let's put that picture up there real quick. And what up to my man Bridge 4 from the Usual Suspects podcast, rocking with us right now and everything else. What up to my brother Bridge? Go check out Bridge 4's channel if you have not. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you might or you may have. If
There
he's
are
got,
some new people, so maybe they have
yeah.
not.
Oh, we got
Hmm.
Jim Lindsay. He is in the building rocking with us right. They changed his name. He was Dexter, but now he's Jim. What up, Jim? What up to everybody and everything else like that? What up to everybody up here and everything else like and all that? The real YT. Again, I'm freezing. I don't know why I'm freezing. It said I started to watch the original Dexter because of Hannibal Lecter. Just just waiting to see if this Dexter is worth watching since the ending was trouble. I will say yes. I like this show so far. Everywhere it reminds me of the original first episode. You know, the first Dexter episodes, the first season
Hmm.
was amazing. You know what I mean? It was amazing up until Rita died. When Rita died, that broke my heart. When Rita died, like I really stopped
Yeah.
watching television for like a while. And it really hurt me when I seen her dead. That truly traumatized me. And
Was that?
I'm not just saying to say, but
Yeah.
I'm dead ass. It traumatized me that Rita got killed. Like it really messed me up on the inside. Like I couldn't take it. I
When
had to
was
stop
was it
watching
the?
TV.
I remember that there was one point at which I was like, okay, what's going on here? Did she die in that trailer? Was that it, or was it somebody else?
Mhm.
It's been a while. Was she killed in that trailer? Like
She was
in a
killed in the bathtub with Trinity
mm.
killer choked her and got behind her and
Oh,
then
that, yeah.
slit her in the tub.
Oh, that, okay. I guess
That's
I was thinking about a different character. It's been a while, like I said. I have to, and I'm rewatching it now. For me, it was I forgot that who was killed in that trailer, like when he got caught, or at that moment, it was like, okay, what's going on? Why is this still going on? So, but there are those moments. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. It's just that, yeah, this is good. So far, I'm liking it. Like I said, I just hope they won't stretch it, just to stretch it.
What is that picture in KM's picture? What is that I'm looking at?
Um. Oh my God, what is it?
I can't
I
tell
I can't tell. What?
I can't tell.
Is it a blowfish?
It's something. It's
It looks
I,
like one of, like, what is this? No, I have no idea.
I
A
think it's
fish? There's a bubble?
he said I'm thinking that Harrison knew about the podcast before he came to find death. Either she put him on the trail or he tracked him down. So yeah, that's I don't know if he just got here. That's what I said. You know, that's what I said in my theory video. I said that it was her that put him on. The reason why it's a weird blow type thing. All right, it is definitely weird.
Yeah. It's interesting how people kind of do their avatars and make them like make us guess. This is, oh, wow. What is this? Anyway, really
No,
cool stuff I see
this,
here.
this is what I'm thinking. Like this, as I said, I put the theory out there that you know that she without it and Sidro's like
Mhm.
saying I stopped watching her. It really messed me up when Rita died. But yeah, I'm telling you, people, trust me when I put this out there. And I'm telling you, he is down with this chick. That it's if he is not down with it, it's just too big of a. How did he find her podcast to be looking at that time?
Mhm.
He's never been introduced to her in the show. How did he just pull up that podcast? Next, let's go through that real quick. She had a picture of Rita on her podcast, right? Rita Morgan, Dexter
Hmm.
Morgan. The picture of Rita that she had clipped there was Dexter's wedding picture.
Hmm.
Dexter's just not in it. So how does she not know what Dexter looks like if she had the wedding picture?
Hmm.
How would she not know that? I mean, she has to know this, people. There's no way
Yeah.
around it. That says, what's her wedding picture on that thing? You know what I mean? That's just what it is. So if he has the wedding picture, if she has the wedding picture of Rita, not by herself, I'm sure that Dexter's right next to her in that picture, just cropped him out. And
Hmm.
she's a podcast reporter. She would have to know that this chick had kids. She knew about the baby in blood. She talked about that. So if she knew about that, then she must know his name. So
Right.
I just
Yeah.
don't no, they don't see how the
Yeah. She's too
podcast
smart for
did,
that.
yeah,
To
how
to
she
not be.
did
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
come there
Mhm.
for Dexter. And I
I
think
completely
that's what
agree.
it is.
Yeah, and especially when you look at the stuff like those missing women, right? She just took, I don't know what the time was, like the how much time has passed since the time the podcaster saw the board with the women and to the moment where she, oh, I found your missing person. It just only took, it was easy. So if she was able to find a missing woman for I don't know how long she was missing, why
Mhm.
would she not be able to piece that stuff together? And faking an identity or having an assumed identity over there and dating a cop, I don't know what it takes to change your name and to cover your tracks and what documents you have to get to do that. But there's stuff, I mean, if somebody's suspecting, and this woman seems to be really good at solving those mysteries, so why would she not actually have already uncovered who he is? It's
Exactly.
plausible.
Beautiful Miss T in the building says, I thought the daughter sent in the podcast. I don't remember the daughter
At the
sending in
dinner, I
the
think.
podcast. Did at the dinner?
They were talking
Uh,
about it, and yeah, she sent. him
All right,
not.
that would be a Chief's daughter told him
Mhm.
about Harrison. Told him about it. Harrison didn't overly shocked when she told him about
Mm.
the podcast girl. She told her the name of the podcast person and everything else and all that. So that could be a definite connection of how he would know
Mhm.
about the podcaster. I overlooked that right there. So thank you for the people in the chat putting that in there. So yeah, that could be a reason why he would know about and look up that podcast at the time. That
Mhm.
does make sense without a shadow of a doubt. But I still think she didn't come up there for by herself. So listen, even if she did not go there with Harrison, I
Mhm.
still I still think I still think without a shadow of a doubt that she's there for Dexter. That she knows that Dexter's there. She's not there for this little story. I don't think that story would entice her enough to come up there.
Yeah.
It's not a big enough story. It's a small ass town no one's ever heard of, and it's not a truly big story. It's not a huge mystery. So
Plus, she does the didn't she do stories on serial killers? So why would she go
yes,
to just cover a story of not even a dead person, right?
yeah,
Well, kind of a missing person, not a dead person.
100%. And I'll put out a video tomorrow about her and give all the
Mhm.
steps that point to exactly why she has to be out here searching for Dexter and why she's not there by for herself. But as you said, yes, everything we seen in her list was serial killers. We didn't see any
Mhm.
local things. It was serial killer, and
Yeah.
now she comes to this small town because a guy got
Who's
shot because
missing?
he killed
Yeah.
a white a
Yeah.
deer. That's
Yeah.
that's not big enough.
And yeah, in her not profile, but she it didn't look like she was covering missing persons cases. She was covering people either who were killed or killers. Actually, not
Mhm.
oh, guy went missing. They didn't know he was, or they don't know he's dead. Yeah. So.
Yes, that's what Jackie C. Jackie C. saying. Weren't there a lot of missing girls though? Yeah, yeah. She started talking about this
Hmm.
after the fact, just trying to get the chief on her side. You know what I mean? That
Yep.
she was willing to help her track down some missing girls to get her on her side. She was willing to do that for her. And they tracked down one of the girls and stuff like that and sent the pictures of her. I don't know if she was going into a Family Dollar or a Dollar General, but it looked like she
Mm.
was coming out of some type of store like that and everything else. You know what I mean? But now, no doubt, when it all comes down to it, and everything else, the podcaster is the girl from The Hangover 3. The podcaster is the girl from Lovecraft Country, man. That's who we know her from. We know her from Lovecraft Country. If you haven't seen that show, she's in Lovecraft Country. She played a great role in Lovecraft Country. Uh, uh, Garrett Smith says, so whatever happened to the trap used to the cover the table? Did he burn it or did he do something something to
Mm.
find what trap? What's he talking about? Yeah,
A tarp, probably.
oh, the tarp. It says trap, right?
Yeah, I
All right.
read it like that too, but I'm assuming the tarp for the that was later mentioned to cover the wood outside there. Maybe I don't remember when he was throwing the body into that whatever it was, the when he was burning it, did he just toss it? Was it maybe wrapped in that?
I would think the body may have been wrapped in it, and maybe I think that's
Yeah.
done. I think Dexter's gotten away with that. So as I said in my video, y'all go check out that video if you can. And stuff like, yeah, no foxtails in this show. Oh yeah, yeah. All right, I think that's done. So when we look at Dexter, and we really look at it in every a season that we've seen, there's usually the one big bad he wants to kill and then someone that he killed that he has to cover up. That the cops
Hmm.
are on to him, not on to him, but on to that case. So he has to cover that up in order to get to the big bad to kill him. So I think we have to have that. I think that's what it's about. I think the first person he killed, no one's on to. I think he's going to get away with that. I think that's done. I think the body's going and everything else. I don't think that there's any way of them, unless there's some other camera. I don't think that there's going to be able
Hmm.
to get him to that. So I think that it's going to have to be the podcaster. He's got to kill the
Hmm.
podcaster. I think that's the one that's going to because when you look at shows, right? And the way I look at shows, if you do something and you let's say Game of Thrones real quick, because everyone knows we love Game of Thrones in this channel, and they have a 75-foot wall, and they say, I'm sure it's bigger than that, but I'm just saying it right off the bat,
Yeah.
75-foot wall, and they say this wall has never been breached. No one's ever knocked this wall down.
Yeah.
They say that in episode 1. That means eventually that wall is getting knocked down, right?
Hmm.
So the whole time we've seen Dexter, he's had a code. I have a code. This code. I have to use this code. As long as I use this code, I'll never get caught. That
Hmm.
means he has to break the code,
Yeah.
and that's going to cause him to get caught. And if he kills this podcaster because she's on to him, then that breaks the code because she's not a criminal. And then this is
Hmm.
the reason why he gets caught. So I think that you have to do that in the storytelling sense. This is why it has to go down that way. This is what I see. What do you think about that, Elamar?
Uh, I agree with what you're saying, and it reminds me of, wasn't there, maybe I'm mistaking it, but one of the seasons, didn't he kill or almost killed somebody who was innocent? Again, if somebody in the chat remembers
Well, he killed.
that part.
He wouldn't kill Dokes. He captured Dokes. He wouldn't kill Dokes because Dokes is a good guy, and
Hmm.
Dokes was innocent. So he didn't kill
There's
him.
somebody that he thought was guilty, but turned out to be not guilty. And again, I'm just kind of having these memories. I don't know if he actually went through with that and he stopped, but if he actually stopped and did not kill that person back then, this time maybe it's gonna be time to actually do make that kill for him to kill somebody and just show him. They keep bringing up that guy, that billionaire there. He kept saying like, "Oh, you
Mm-hmm.
see, like things in either black or white," and that not everything is in black or white. There's
Because
that
not everything's in black and white, but yet
exactly.
we also see, and everything's not in black and white, but we see that the killer of the girls is wearing white, right? And he's
Mm,
hunting them down. So let's say
yeah.
Dexter kills Kurt's son, so Kurt kills Dexter's son. I would say that would be an interesting twist if that did
Right.
happen. I would not see that coming. If they pulled that off, I don't think that Harrison is gonna die. I just don't see why Harrison would die when it's all said and done.
Mm.
I just don't see anything that's going to point towards Harrison dying in this show like that. I just don't see it. So if we let's I think let me see if we can go through this full screen layout. We're sitting here on Dexter's the chief, Dexter's girlfriend. Let's pull it up a little bit.
But I'm not going to say here.
Why is it? No one wants to hear my voice. I'm talking about that. All right, we talk about the chief. They show it, and here we see Harrison, and he is basically, living the life, partying it up, of being the hero, and drinking with everybody else there and everything else, and people are all about it and stuff. In this house right here, they show somebody coming out of this house, uh, and it's the house with the red doors, and it's hard to see, but I know that's a snorkel jacket that he has on because I have on. And I'm saying the billionaire does have a snorkel jacket. So the billionaire and Kurt, and dealing with the girls and everything else, and dealing with the girls and all that and everything else. You know what I mean? Oh, let's talk. We got a new sub here. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you rocking with us and everything else 100%. You know what I mean? I truly appreciate that. Thank you for rocking with us, bro. We Nina. It's Nina. What is that, Nini?
I'm not sure. Asking me how to pronounce that, Tony.
You're better at it than me.
I butcher names like left and right.
I'm the name butterer. I'm going for that. And Evelyn Martin saying, did Harrison kill Hannah? We talked about that a little earlier. I think he did. Elamar, let's get your opinion on it real quick. Do you think that Harrison killed her?
If she in fact did was dying of cancer, maybe she asked him for a mercy kill. Who knows? Maybe that, if not cold blooded, maybe he experienced murder, killing by just helping her die. I don't know. I don't see him completely just. He doesn't strike me as somebody violent. to who make such a violent act like that. Kind of, he's very calculative, or
Hmm.
he makes calculative moves, or just I don't see him just killing her um just like that for, I guess, no reason. But again, we have no information of, how she was later, how he was when he was growing up. We don't, because he was just a baby. He could have been a really not a great kid. Maybe he's just pretending now.
Hmm. No, he's
Yeah.
not a great kid. It's all pretend. I think that they showed that listen, the kid, he took the opportunity. This is what he's seen. He said, all right, he saved this kid from getting beat up by these bullies. The kid said, hey, showed him some pictures of him wanting to kill, some classmates. And he put that two and two together and said, hey, if I convince this kid that I'll help him kill these people and bring stuff in, I could set him up and become a hero. So the fact that he was able to do that, and that went through his mind to do that, shows that this is not this kid's first rodeo. I think they
Hmm.
tried to establish how smart he was by the entrance exam and stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
I think Harrison's a cold-blooded murderer.
Yeah, and
I,
he plays it well. He plays it really well, to gain trust of somebody, to show that, to see that potential. And obviously that kid, Ethan, was it Ethan? I keep forgetting the name. He looked like he kind of could have used a friend. I mean, and Harrison was there, and why not use that new friend into to do something that Harrison wanted to do? That was a perfect kid to put
yeah,
blame on.
listen. When he
Yeah.
went to that hospital, he went there to see if that kid was dead because
Mhm.
he wanted him to
Yeah.
be dead.
Yeah.
That's why he kept saying, I cut him pretty deep. Did he
Yeah.
make it? I cut him pretty
Yeah.
deep.
I don't
He
want him to
tried to kill him.
die. Is he gonna
Yeah,
die?
he wanted him to die. He cut
Right.
him to kill him. That was the plan. The kid
Yeah.
just didn't die. But when he cut that motherfucker, he cut that cat to kill
Yeah.
him. And that was the way he did it. That was his plan
Yeah.
and
And
everything else.
yeah, speaking of that blood, I mean, I'm obviously it's just, a show, but I was like, that's all it takes. That's all the blood it takes to die. Like, wow. I was expecting, like, when they did that shot from above, to see like of blood. And it was just like, drip, 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 and like a little puddle. Like, wow. Doesn't
Yeah,
take
there
a
wasn't a
lot to
lot of
kill
blood there at
somebody.
all.
No, I was like, wow.
That wasn't the proper place to actually cut him in the back of the thigh. If you're trying to
Yeah.
take somebody, the meaty ass thigh, if you're really trying to take somebody out and
Like
stuff.
inside of the thigh somewhere, not outside by the leg. You cut somebody, I'm assuming from what I've seen in the shows, you would cut somebody like on the inside. That's where that's why the arteries are
Yeah,
like hidden
it would
in
be
certain
right
place.
on the
Or did I
inside.
start? Yeah.
The inside is
Mm.
where you get. Who did that? And what
Yep.
show am I thinking of that someone did that? Cuts. Oh, it was
Yeah.
Arya. It was Arya in Game of Thrones
Was it?
when she cuts Trent in the book. She
Mm.
cut him on the inside of the thigh, and he couldn't stop his thigh from getting. That's what he died,
Mm.
and everything else. That was the
Mm.
inside of the thigh when she was
Yeah.
supposedly going down on him.
Hmm.
And she was dressed in the Mercy
Mm.
costume. That was when she did that. She cut him on the
Mm.
inside of the thigh and stuff. So yeah. So all
Yeah.
right. So all right. So let's go back. I think let's go back here to a little bit of this clips of that we're watching here and see exactly these clips from this upcoming episode of Dexter New Blood and see if we can pull anything away from that. This is him
Hmm.
in the car. Excuse me, and he actually talking to Deborah at this
Hmm.
time, and she says that it's not about a code, it's not about anything, it's just straight revenge. And then Dexter says, yep, it is just about revenge. Now it's hard to tell if she at this time is talking about Dexter or she's talking about the person that Dexter is actually looking at. Person he's looking at, and you can see her looking out there when she says that, is the person in the house. And then later on, we see a similar type house, a similar door get busted in by the cops. Now we can't tell if that's exactly the cabin or anything else like that. So let's talk a little bit about that, about how the guy going killing, capturing girls and then killing these girls and bringing them out there to hunt these girls. and everything else. Now, I have said that I think that it's not just Kurt. I think that the billionaire is involved. And this is the reason why I say I think that the billionaire is involved. When Kurt first came out there, when his son disappeared, he was gun ho. They were going to stop the investigation. And he fought against them for them to go back out there and keep searching for his son. And then out of nowhere, he stops and says, "Oh, they found my son. I talked to him. I video chatted him. Everything is good, blah, 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 blah." And I think that that someone may have told him and said, "Yo, stupid, do you understand that something's going on here? You can't just cause all this attention. You got to shut this down and shut this down right now." You know what I mean? I think something like that went on, and that's why he shut it down, because he just flipped 360.
Yep.
First, find my son, find my son. Now all of a sudden, don't find my son. I talked to him. It's all good. I don't think he came to his senses. I think somebody told him, "Hey, shut your mouth." Because, listen, when we look at the person in the white suit, it does look like it's Kurt. I'm not going to say it's not Kurt. It does look like it's him actually doing it. But it could be a ring of people. And you can't be for sure. There's a reason why they pull a full mask. All right, they put a full mask and they didn't want you to know it was Kurt. Yes. But it could be the billionaire. The billionaire could be paying him for these girls. Kurt could just be, here, I drop a girl off here. You give me some money for it and everything else like that. It could be a situation like that. So dealing with the guy in the white mask, and we're asking everybody in the chat too, do you think that's Kurt in the white mask? Do you think he's doing it alone, or you think he's operating with some other people?
Again, you bring up great points to that. And when you said about Kurt kind of saying stop to this, I mean, if they're gonna, oh goodness, what's her name? Dexter's girlfriend. So she, right, exactly. She actually said something like, "Oh, we're gonna be looking here and then further out," and like at some point, that circle stretches out that far where they're gonna get to that that house, right? That the girls are staying. So by letting this, what do you call it, search continue, you're letting the people search, like, oh, there's this house, let's look around at this house, right, where the girls were killed. So if he would let that continue, he would let them at some point end up in that area. So that's one of the reasons to stop it, probably. And definitely both of them are suspects, because they're saying, well, that billionaire said the whole, either you see things in black or white, but and then he continued. But also there was this one hot scene where Dexter's talking to his dead sister, and he says something like, "And I just want to be a dad, and like, I'm just gonna do this, and then that's gonna be it. I'm gonna be a dad." And then it cuts to this killer draining the blood out of that girl, right? So I'm thinking, wasn't there a lot of regret in Kurt, where he kind of failed on his, being a father? So maybe the psychology kind of kicked in, like in me, like, "Ooh, what if he's trying to compensate? He was never able to keep his son where he wanted him. So why not take those girls, lock them up where he couldn't lock his son up? He just locked those girls up, and he, let them stay. And when they ran away, he lets them run, and then he kills them. Like, he couldn't do anything to his son when his son, started going, being gone for weeks, months. He couldn't do that, and now he can actually play it out with those girls. Treats them, like he offers them a job, he gives them money, and they return to him. They want more, so he basically locks them up. And then, when they run, he kills them. But again, I'm just wondering if that's, his psychology.
I think that's a great psychological breakdown of the guy who couldn't control his own son, wished he could keep his son locked up, but then also wishes that, hates his son, the guy he became, and that's why he could be doing these crimes to the girls. I 100% agree with you. VF555 also says he had bills to pay to cover up his son's crime. Yeah, and I believe with that too. And I think that's a great point. He had bills to pay. He had to pay that guy what, $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week to keep his
True.
mouth shut.
Hmm.
You know what I
I
mean?
was wondering how long. Wouldn't it be
Yeah,
better for
and
that
how
guy to
long
be,
did he get
killed?
this?
Like,
Yeah, how long did he have to get this payment? And what does he do? Like, he just owns the diner, right?
right? That's the
That's
thing.
what he
That's a lot of money that he
for a
has just
diner
from that
owner.
diner, from that
I know
small
a lot of
place.
people. I know a couple of people who
Mm,
own diners, and they can't pay people 2 G's a month just on a whim like that. I mean, so
mm,
unless he has something else going
mm,
on, if
mm.
he's just that diner owner. I
Yeah,
mean, listen, there's very successful diners that make a lot of money,
yeah,
but not in small towns like that. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
The small town diner owner is not a multi-millionaire. It's not the way it works. You know what I mean? And everything else. So I don't see that going down like that. You know what I mean? He said, and said he owns a truck stop too and a gas
Mm,
station. All right, truck stop, I see some money. Gas station, I
mhm,
see some money coming in
mhm.
there. But
That makes more
that's not,
sense.
I could
You're
see
right.
that being
Mhm.
a couple of $100,000, maybe a $500,000 business. Maybe that's enough to get it done. It depends how big the town is, a small town.
Mhm.
But I can't see it being anything over 500,000. If it's $500,000, then yes, maybe he's able to pay this kid some money and stuff like that. But maybe he doesn't, and maybe this guy, the billionaire, came to him with a proposal and said, "Listen,
Mm,
bring me these girls and just turn your back," because the process that was used to drain the blood out of the girls after
mm,
was very sophisticated. And he doesn't take me as a sophisticated man that would know how to do that process.
mm.
That know
Um,
how to drain that blood, like he would embalm that person and everything else. You know what I
mhm.
mean? So I don't see how he would know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? $2,000 a month is a lot of money. Thank you for this
Yeah.
super chat, Ryan. We got the first super chat here. Thank you so much. This is Harrison from Nelson Reyes. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. You're truly generous for doing that. Harrison will be revealed to be a psychopath who killed the real Harrison in foster care and found a letter from Hannah. Now, this is a theory. So, all right. So, here it is. Now, Harrison is going to be some person that we've never heard of. This is a psychopath who killed the real Harrison while they were in foster care, found the letter from Hannah, and searched out Dexter. That would be the theory going on here. I appreciate all theories. I truly do. As I said a little bit earlier, I don't think and as Jackie C says, that is quite the plot twist. Nelson, there's no doubt that it is. When you look at story writing, and if people don't know me, know anything about me, I do write. Elamar is an author. She has written books. I am an author. I've written books, and I would say that I don't see that being satisfactory to the audience in the end if this is not Harrison. I don't see it being that. I mean, when you look at his name, Harrison, I would say that would mean Harry's son, right? That Harrison, you broke it down, it would be Harry's son. Harry's the
Mhm.
guy who gave Dexter the code to keep his life in order, right? I don't think if
Mm.
you took that and that's Dexter's son, right? So I don't think if you changed that and you made it not him, it doesn't have the same impact if it's just some psychopath there that does this that it would if it's actually someone Dexter gave birth to, that's his blood. It would have to be his son that was born the exact same way that he was, that went through the exact same childhood trauma of being bathed in their mother's blood. Without that, it just does not have the same gravitas, as I use that word twice tonight. for it
Mm.
to work for me as a writer. Elamar, as a writer, how do you feel about that?
If he's just some random person, then it kind of would lose that impact and that connection. Might be kind of that emotional connection. There is a comment here. Let's see, where did it go? That, oh goodness, I can't see it anymore. I can try. There we go. Oh, but I lost the name. It says that Harrison might be related to Trinity, meaning like some kind of family
Yeah,
member. If that's the case, friend, because that there's a connection to somebody we know from the past, and I would see that I would prefer for Harrison, if
but
not being actually Dexter's son, to be somebody else's somebody that has a stake in this
all right. So
whole
I'm not
situation.
going to cut you. I want you to finish, but I want to say that
Hmm.
we
No,
done
no, I'm done.
they did an episode of a whole season of Dexter with Trinity's son already. I forgot
Hmm.
exactly what season that was,
Yeah.
but they already did that season. So I just don't think they would go back to something like that. You know what I mean? It's already
Hmm.
been done with Trinity's son. So I don't see them going back and doing another, doing it again. That was already
Hmm.
served. So I just don't see them do. But I understand what you're
Hmm.
saying. Yes, it would have to be something like that. Have to be someone he's connected to, and everything else. It couldn't just be someone who's just a nobody.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, someone he met. He met in foster care. I don't think the kid was ever in foster care. I think that's all a lie. I don't think he was, not one bit was he in foster care. I think all that was a lie. But I truly appreciate. I think it's a clever twist, but I just don't think that it would serve the purpose as a writer.
Hmm.
And I could be wrong.
I
To
mean, if
to
they went that
to make
way,
you care about the character.
yeah, and if they went that way, I mean, that's one way to show the story. But I wouldn't like it, because it would kind of take me out of like, okay, wow, that's a psychopath. Well, wow, okay, but it would have bigger impact if it was actually, if he was the son, actual son, because then whatever the son does and did that we knew of, and that Dexter would eventually maybe find out about, then we would see how much impact it had on Dexter, which later on would, that would give us the sensation of what he's feeling and thinking.
Right. So I'm going to go through a couple of points that people are making here, and
Hmm.
just try and say, so he did a follow up. Thank you again for another super chat. Now, you're very generous. We appreciate that so much. The series about the conclusion of Dexter. Dexter never did a DNA test on this Harrison. Past this guy, Aster, Cody, and the GR parent. All right. So I hear what you're saying there. I don't think that I don't think they didn't do a DNA test. Like, what, I think the only reason they would ever do a DNA test or anything like that, you know what I mean? Rita wasn't sleeping around. I understand what you're saying, that he didn't come back, hey, Dad, I'm your son. Oh, you are. They test you to make sure that you are my son. All right. I understand what you're saying there. And I understand what Aster and Cody and everything else. They would have reason to do it. Dexter killed their father, right? And everything else. He took their father out. He killed their father. So there's no doubt that I could see the angle there if it was.
Hmm.
I would just have to say that, in my opinion, it wouldn't have the same effect if it was truly, it has to be. There's no reason that they set up Harrison being born in blood. They did that
Hmm.
years ago. And set up Dexter being born in blood. They did that for a reason, right? That
Hmm.
they showed them both the same way. They're tying those loose ends up that they did.
Yeah.
And they left it. So when they ended the series, they left plot holes. Like that's a huge plot hole. And I think they're trying to fill those plot holes up. And right, not being truly Harrison does not fill those plot holes for me.
Hmm.
And I think that's the reason why they might have to do it. Mr. Gui says, I mean, he kind of has a point. I'm not saying he doesn't. I mean, Harrison doesn't have blind. So, yes, the younger child did have blonde hair that they showed, the actor. had
Mm-hmm.
blonde hair. I mean, easily you can say that. I mean, they recasted the character. Could they have put a blonde hair actor in there? Yes, they could have put a blonde hair person in there. But there are people who do have blonde hair who gets darker as they get older. That
Yeah,
that's
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 fact.
that does happen.
Yeah.
But
My kids were much more blonder when they were younger, and now they're not. Definitely. And as far as the it being the older or not stepson, but what's his name? Not Cody. Whichever name,
yeah,
the
Cody,
older
Cody.
stepbrother Cody. I mean, it's Dexter's good at what he does. I'm sure he's good with faces too, right? So if there's a kid, however old he was, people don't change that much. There's for if he wasn't able to recognize his son, even the kid was like what, under a year or around a year. Again, my kids, I could always recognize them even from pictures. It could not, it's kind of like spitting image. At least one of them looks like me exactly. But if you see a kid who's, let's say, I'm gonna guess 5 or 6, however old Cody was, you are able to see that this is the kid. It's rare that something has to stay the same: the eyes, the nose, the layout kind of
Mhm.
the face a little bit. Obviously it's going to change into complete adulthood slightly more, but um hair color is means in a way nothing. There are people that I know who were born literally blonde, like white blonde color hair, and now they're literally dark brown hair. So um yeah, again, I really wanted to be Harrison. I don't want it to be anybody else. It has bigger impact if this is actually his son doing these actions. It's gonna hurt Dexter more. Again, I'm kind of into I want to see him go through that as a character. Why not? Why make it easy on him? He's obviously already conflicted because his son apparently murdered somebody. Well, not murdered. Wanted to murder somebody, right? That's already a
Mhm.
big weight on his shoulders. And now to actually find out that he is actually not as great and he's great at hiding it, yeah, that's a lot to handle by Dexter, who is now a dad again after so
Exactly,
many
and I'll
years.
say this. We'll move past it, but I will say that he even says in the trailer, the kid even, they're doing everything to let
Mm-hmm.
you know it's his kid. The kid eats like me. When he shows him eating, he eats the exact same way. He's talking just like his sister Deborah, saying the exact same way. They're letting you know by putting all this
Mm-hmm.
together that this is his child, and I think that's what they're trying to point out there. But hey, maybe they could be trying to steer you in the wrong direction. So in this clip right here, we see the podcaster with the chief, and we're going to call it chief because that's for lack of a better name, in courtroom. I don't know if this is a courtroom or some type of situation. And this is when she says to it, she says, doesn't it feel weird that you're sleeping right next to a serial killer and you never know it? And then they focus on the chief's face, and she gives like a remark. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's not a throwaway line. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's a throwaway line. I think that that's a hint that this podcaster knows that this chick is sleeping right next to a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's just saying that just to say that. I the podcaster knows. She
Mm-hmm.
knows who Dex is. We got Linda R in the chat. I haven't seen Linda R in a very long time. Linda R is rocking with us right now and everything. And she's a Dexter fan, evidently. But this kid is really
Linda's
intelligent. He could
definitely
be a
into that
fraud.
stuff.
He
Yeah.
could be a fraud and
Yeah,
found out
that's
things.
yeah.
He could be. It is no doubt about it. I don't think that this is the talented Mr. Ripley. I think that name was that movie. I don't think it's that type of show right here. I don't think that's the way they're going with it and everything else. And right here, Jerome Williams says what Elamar said. Isn't it weird the chief resembles Death? That's what Elamar said earlier.
Yeah.
That the chief it looks like Death, an Indian version of Death.
Mm-hmm.
An
Yeah,
Indian version
darker
of Death.
hair, longer hair, kind of parted in the middle, straight hair, kind of like the same length in a way. Big brown eyes. Yeah, very
Mm-hmm.
confident. and what she's doing, like we saw in the first episode. So yeah, definitely there is an. It was interesting seeing the flashbacks of the sister, and then he's getting comfortable with his girlfriend in the back of the car at the same time, the same episode.
And
Very fun.
yeah, and they've been together for a while because
Yeah.
she's telling him she loves him. You know what I mean? Like every time, I
Yeah.
love you, I
Yeah.
love you. You know, she's not just saying, "All right, peace out, homie." You know, when she leaves, she's like, "I love you,
Yeah.
I love you," and he's saying, "I love you back."
And he's
You know
actually
what I mean?
saying it back, and somebody like him,
You
he
know,
was never, again, he grew a lot, or he changed a lot, because he was never he never understood love, or even didn't he say, like, in the first one, where he didn't understand the whole intimacy part too?
yes,
So he changed
Rita
a
like
lot.
kind of brought, yeah, Rita
Yes.
brought that out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was afraid. I think it was and that it goes back to Trinity, because when he seen Trinity, like he had seen how Trinity had a whole family, had kids, a loving home, and everything else. And he's like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
I can't believe he has
Yeah.
all these things
Yeah.
and everything else." You know what I mean? What up to Fernandez T in the building, rocking with us right now? Why is it not highlighting my brother's comment right there? There you go. What up, Fernandez T? Saying, what up to Linda R? They're close together. they live in the same state and everything else. And
Yeah. Long time no
18.7.
see.
AK, I haven't seen AK in a while. She's in the building rocking with us too right now. What up to everybody out here rocking with us? Talking about Dexter. And appreciate everyone who got out here for Dexter and everything else like that. Who came out here and everything else. When does episode 5 release? Sunday. It's every Sunday is
Sundays.
when you can watch Dexter episodes that
Mm-hmm.
come out Sunday. So yeah, they're in this court case, and I think that's telling that they showed her say that particularly. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that was a throwaway of her just saying that line to her. Oh, isn't it weird that you could be sleeping right next to a serial killer and not even know it? She's saying that because and that's the face that this chick gives right after. She's saying it because she knows that she's actually is sleeping right next to a serial killer. And that's a fact. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
I'm
And
telling you,
and as a podcaster,
I'm going to give
I'm
all
sorry.
the next video I'll drop it tomorrow, will be all the proof that the podcaster knows that Dexter, that she's there for Dexter. I'll give 100%.
Yeah, it makes
I'll give you
sense.
everything.
Yeah. And the way
That's what's
she
going
talks
on.
to him, as a podcaster, she needs to be able to choose words correctly too, and carefully. So I'm sure she's good at that too, choosing her words.
Without a shadow of doubt. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're in there for, you know what I mean, and why they're in this case. It's hard to say exactly what it is. It seems like it's some type of it seems like they're in this some type, not in the courtroom, but it could be a small town court. You know what I mean? When you look at these small town courtroom things and everything else, like a lot of these court cases, they be in trailers. You go to these small towns, the court is a trailer, it's an actual trailer. And that's the court is, you know what I mean? Depending on how small this town is. So it seems like a small building. And here again, at the end of the trailer, you see Harrison, living it up, life of the party, everyone believing still that he's truly the hero. You know what I mean? He put that con on and everything else, and it seems to be working and everything else. So that is what this scene is about here. We're gonna take some
He
questions.
doesn't look upset at all.
No. And that just shows you he's a psychopath.
I mean, that face alone, the way they showed him there, like zero, nothing. Like, how many days have passed since that the whole incident, and there he is, having so much fun, like nothing happened.
Yeah, we got Kieran said new blood equals Harrison, of course. He's a new blood. That's what it's all about. It's all about how Harrison takes over as a new serial killer for Dexter. And that's the way it's going down. There's no way around it. I know people, anyone who want to see it differently, I know you may want to see it differently and all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying, and all that good stuff, but nah, it's not rocking like that. Melanie is talking about right here. She's rocking from New York, with the Don Tony Teflon. John at John, upstate New York. Well, yeah. If you're talking about where this is taking place, it's taking place in upstate. And I think people are shouting out where they're from right now. Pierre said he's in Oregon and all that stuff. Oh, everything. AK says special shout out to my lady Liv, living my raptor. You get a special shout out to you.
Thanks, AK.
Special. All right, I think we dealt with Kurt. So you're saying Kurt is killing the missing girls. Like that's debatable, Linda. We just talked about that a little bit. And I'm saying that, you know what I mean, that I think the billionaire has to have something to do with it. I just don't see the turn, how Kurt just went from, and I don't want to rehash what I already said, but a little bit for Linda, that, you know what I mean, that Kurt wanted them to search for his kid, then all of a sudden next day he said, no, I found my kid. I think he was talked to. I think someone talked to him. I think that this is what I think that Dexter's got to teach his son the code, and he's going to start teaching his son the code. I think that Dexter's going to have the billionaire on a slab, and Harrison's going to be with him, and he's going to show him that this is the, I think this is that they're going to show him that this is where it goes. This is how you have to do it if you want to be successful. I think that's what it's got to be, because when you look at the last episode, sin to the father. I think that the sin is going to be he taught him the code. Now, I think Harrison eventually is going to kill Dexter. When it's all said and done, Harrison has to kill Dexter. I think that's how it ends, without a doubt.
That's part of psychology too. The whole thing about, killing your father and marrying your mother. Oh my gosh. I wonder if they're going to go that way, that he's going to be one of the concepts in psychology. But going back to the billionaire, those girls, the only thing that doesn't make sense to me is he only goes there from time to time during the season or whatever it is, and kind of correlating his trips there with the murders. I wonder if that ever would come up, that all these girls go missing every time when the billionaire goes for to visit his whatever he visits, or if he can kind of sneak away. So, but again, this is just a show. They may, not pay attention to that. And just, it may actually happen that he's doing it. But normally I'm assuming during investigation, if he ever became a suspect, they would check his whereabouts around that time when those murders happened.
I 100% agree. That's a great point to put up there. If these girls are going missing every time he shows up, but I think when you look at the girls, I mean, the reason why the chief got involved of doing it, becoming a police officer, because her friend was missing, one of the missing girls. So it has to be someone older than her, because it's been going on since she was young.
Yes.
So
exactly.
So, and I think that if he's shooting them or anything else like that, you could. I mean, maybe they're good. They'd be able to cross-reference that. But it's hunting season. Obviously, Dexter's out there hunting, so it wouldn't be rare to hear a gun go off.
Oh yeah,
hunting season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it would have to be around that time and stuff. So
and I think there were about. And I think, I'm sorry, there's a delay. I think that's why we're kind of keep like going back and forth with that. But I think there were around 12. I didn't pause it. But when I watched it again, I kind of looked at how many there might be. Wasn't there like about 10, 12 plus pictures?
Yeah.
So I was wondering, if it's like once a year, a couple times a year, how long it's been going on, and then how many before her friend, the chief's friend, if there were any missing back then. Yeah, so I hope they will go into that a little bit more and not just like spring it on us like, oh hey, and it's solved next. I hope they give it a little bit more time for us to enjoy that trail of clues, so we can think about that a little bit more.
Yeah, and I want to know how many Native Americans there were, girls that were missing, because it seems that that's what her, that her people, her tribe, they're mad about her when they sound like you got to pick a side eventually. Like it seemed like there were a bunch of Native American girls going missing, and no one cares. Like they're saying, oh, no one cares if the Native American girls are going missing. So that's why no one's searching for them. That's why no one's caring about it, because they're all Native American. And so I have to see exactly how
Yeah.
many Native American girls are going on mission, because that's she has
Yeah.
a rift in her community, and that's why they're telling you have to pick a side, because I think that
Hmm.
and it could be a case that they're not taking it seriously.
And those two girl, I mean not two, this one girl that we know of, because there was just one, right? I'm thinking, no, now there's a second one, right? Because there are two. Was the first one, and now it's the second one. So I wonder if they are from the area, or if they're just kind of passing by, stopping in the town in town just for on their way somewhere, or are they from that town? Or like I said, if they're just stopping, staying for a while, and then going missing. So they may not be. There may be more girls, just kind of those who are passing by and never even get their names on the board. I mean again, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch if they were actually from that town. Both of those girls that we know of right now.
Yeah, Fernandez T and Jackie is saying that Native American women are the highest missing women in America. They go missing the most. So,
Mm,
it would be a realistic situation if that was the case. You
mm-hmm,
know what I mean? That they did that on, and maybe that's the point that they're trying to put out there. That obviously we talked a little bit about this girl Gabby, who went missing. This little white girl who caught the nation's attention by going missing. You know what I mean? And as they said, all these Black and Native American girls go missing every day, which is one of the reasons why I believe that there's no reason that this podcast that came up there for that story. It just doesn't make any sense
mm.
for it to come up here just for that and everything. So we'll put all that together in a video right there. I can't wait to I can't wait to see the sheets of plastic for the bit. I think you see it next episode. I think he gets killed next episode. I think in episode 5 the billionaire goes down. I think this episode coming up, you want the billionaire gets got. I think he's the one coming out of the house. He had the same exact jacket as the person coming out the house. We seen him in the show, and I think that's who he's sitting out there waiting for. And I think the billionaire gets got and everything. I think that's the
And
way
I
it's
wonder
got.
where, yeah, and I wonder where they're disposing of the bodies. I mean, there are a lot of them, right? And where as it because they're being nicely cleaned, like we saw. At least we saw
Mm-hmm.
parts of it. They're not just dumped like Dexter just cuts them up. These were from what we saw. The girl was washed with care. In and I'm saying with care because the PJs were folded. Like who folds PJs like that? I don't. I know a couple of people who can who. Sorry, that's my cat here sneezing. Uh, my goodness, bless you, Luna. So
How
who
big is
folds
Luna now?
pajamas?
Jesus.
Yeah, I think she's having allergies. Something. Yeah. So anyway, those pink PJs folded so neatly, not just like, okay, I gotta get this body washed and dressed, scrubbed, and what are you doing it for? What are you gonna do with those bodies? What's going on? That's curious. That's an interesting approach to killing because Dexter does his thing, right? The way he does it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of blood, and here this guy, in a way, doesn't want the blood. He takes the blood out. You don't even see blood. You see this mixture of whatever liquid and blood coming into the bucket. So the guy doesn't even see blood. He just sees them nice and clean in their PJs. Maybe very creepy.
Yeah, as I say, they drain the blood. He's draining. He's taking,
Yeah.
taking care not to get caught. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I think it may not be Kurt. I don't know if Kurt's smart enough to do that from what we've seen. Maybe it is. Billionaire is going to be going to die and get set up, and going to be innocent, set up by Kurt. That sounds good. I could see that happening. I could see that going down. I could see them playing it that way. That Kurt's not getting caught right now. You know what I mean? Kurt's not getting caught this early. So there has to be a fall guy in it. So if the billionaire is the fall
Yeah.
guy, then he is. You know what I mean? But you're not going to catch Kurt right away. It's not going to happen. We see in the clips that the police are breaking into somebody's house. You know what I mean? Now,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't seem like it's the shed. I think they're trying to make you think it's the shed where the girl is at, but I don't think it is and stuff. But that's where they're trying to go. So someone's getting bagged up for it without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. Again, Dexter. It reminds me a little bit of wasn't there an episode similar to that where he actually somebody was sent to one place I'm hoping it's the same show. I've seen so many different ones where they were directed to one place, but an actual crime and took place somewhere else. So if this is, I don't mind it. I don't mind if they did the same thing. I mean, it's a good concept. There's nothing wrong with it. Send people on a trail somewhere else and do your thing over, at the other spot. I don't mind it at all if it's a repeat.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. All right, we're gonna wrap this up now. We've been doing an hour and a half and everything else. I want to thank everybody. Oh no, wait a second. We gotta give away the Dexter T-shirt. We're not leaving for that. That's what I said. That's what I said. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right now.
Nice.
Let me real quick. I gotta think of a question, real quick, to ask somebody. It would be a Dexter question.
Mhm.
And if you win this T-shirt, all you gotta do is be a subscriber to Teflon TV, and I'm gonna check and like make sure. All right. Yeah, we'll get you a T-shirt. We'll send you whatever it's going to be. I'll send you one. It's not a problem. We'll send you a blood splatter T-shirt or something like that. All right. Let me think of a Dexter question real quick to ask you. I'm just gonna see if I can. All right, and the way it's gonna go is I'm gonna ask the question. When I do, I will put my name in the chat. Anything underneath my name counts, and if it's above my name, it doesn't count. All right, so always wait till you see my name.
And we go by the chat
right?
that we see, right, Tony? We always go by the chat that we see here in the StreamYard. So sometimes answers go they're different. If you're looking, I mean, if the people in the chat are looking at that, we always go by the order of that we see it here on our end, just to make sure.
Yes, always know that's our chat. Now your chat, everything is a little bit different and stuff like that and all that. So I'm trying to think of a question. If you can think of something.
No, I can't think of so many things. Mm. And the question, is it something that you're gonna that's for previous, right?
All right,
What are
I
we?
got it. I got it right now.
Okay.
All right, are you ready? Are we ready for this? This is for the. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. All right, and hopefully you're. Thank you. I appreciate it. You like and subscribe to all the videos that I do and everything else. Here we go. For the T-shirt, always wait till the name Teflon is in the chat. Are you ready? Here we go. This y'all should know this. Who killed Deborah in the show? I think that should be a first and last name of who killed Deborah in the show.
Spelled correctly. Right? Doesn't matter. First and last name. Spelled correctly.
Yeah, I think we got a winner already. There we got Maria. Yes. How many people killed Deborah? Yes, who killed Deb in the show? Yeah, we do have a winner here, and we can go back. You can see right here.
What is your answer?
The answer is Oliver Saxon. Is the person who killed Dexter.
Is it?
In season 8, it was serial killer Oliver Saxon who shot Deborah in the abdomen and put her in a coma. But it was Dexter's homicidal casualty that tragically put Deb into the line of fire. So it was Oliver that actually shot the shot that did it. Alex Saxon. Now, all right. We're going to have a debate here.
Oh, Fernandez. why. So
All
people
right,
can
so
get technical with that, but
Elamar, you're gonna have to be the mediator here.
because
All right,
if I would hear, would I would the way
all right,
actually he's alive, right?
all right. So Oliver Saxon, last name is spelled Saxon. Saxon.
But
First
are we
person who got it.
going with that with Dexter, the one
Right.
who actually killed her in the sea? What are we going with?
I would go with Oliver Saxon. That's would be the one.
Okay.
It's because he's the one who
Okay.
put her in the coma. Dexter may have put her out of the misery and put her in the sea. I would go with Oliver. Oliver's the one, without a doubt. I would have to say it's
Okay, let
Oliver.
me see.
So when we look at this, I see Davos is right under, but he spelled Saxon with a T in there.
And I lost the comments here. Oh, okay, let's see.
Mervis Blue got a T in there. Christopher is the one without a T.
Huh.
How do you go with it?
I completely got lost with the comments here.
Right, so it comes down to this. First person who put it was Z Devos Saxton. He put a T in there, so it's not with a T. It's a say. So to me, that's the name. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you meant. It's not spelled with a T. The next person that who actually have the correct spell, the Mervis, put the same exact thing with the T underneath it, and then the person who has the exact right spelling underneath Mervis would be Christopher. So it comes down to it. Is the T valid or not? And if it's not the right spelling, then it would have to go to Christopher if you're going by the exact spelling of the word.
Well, we did say, I hate to be a stickler, but we did say correct spelling, first and last name and correct spelling. And I'm the worst one to spell, but people take, time to actually spell it. Maybe discredit to them, those who actually spell it correctly. And like you said, you decided with Oliver as the one who actually put the bullet in her, causing, the death of her. So yeah, that's the person with the correct spelling.
All right, then
And I'm
the winner.
checking it, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want anyone to be mad at me, but we did say that specifically before we started that the exact spelling would be count. That would be it. So it's Christopher is the one. Christopher, you have just won yourself. I'm so sorry. I don't want to. Don't be mad at me. I'm so sorry. We have to go in there and everything else. We did say it. Christopher, you are the one who has won the Dexter T-shirt for this live stream. We'll be here every week, and I'll do it. We'll give away every time Elamar shows up. We'll give away a T-shirt. I promise you. All right.
No pressure on me. No, what pressure? This is actually relaxing time, not pressure.
And all that. So Christopher, all you got to do is hit me up, Teflon TV on Facebook. All right. Facebook, Teflon TV. Hit me up there and give me an address, and I will send you that shirt off from Amazon. I'll get that right there. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I try to give away T-shirts. I say if any one of my videos ever hit 500 likes, I'll give away a T-shirt on the videos. I haven't hit 500 likes on these videos yet, which is crazy to me. That I haven't. I would have thought I've been would have hit it. So when you're watching the videos, make sure you thumbs up in those videos, man, and everything else like that. You know what I mean? But I guarantee that we'll also do something here every week. And we'll do something here for you every week that we hear and stuff like that. All
and there's
right.
still some episodes left, right? It's not like it's the last one. We just here for the first time.
You got many episodes left and everything else.
Yeah.
All right. So Elamar, let me say thank you. Missed you. That's number one. I missed you.
I missed you too, Tony. This was so much fun. Life just got so busy, but
I know.
I gotta make time for me.
Life is life,
for
and
my
that is
fun.
what it is. And
Yeah.
that is what it is. We'll be back
So
next
thank
week,
you.
same time next week, same day. If you like the way we do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace.
And stay sexy.